One moment, millions of fans were listening to his music. The next, the internet stopped in shock. Oliver Tree wasn't just another artist. He was one of the most unpredictable stars on the internet, a musician who turned chaos into art, comedy into music, and somehow built an empire while looking like he had walked straight out of another dimension. But on a quiet morning in Brazil, something happened that nobody saw coming. 2 helicopters, 6 people, a collision in the sky over Rio de Janeiro. Within minutes, flames spread across an electric vehicle yard below. Smoke filled the air. Emergency crews rushed to the scene. And suddenly, fans around the world were asking the same heartbreaking question. Could this really be true? The man behind hits like Life Goes On and Miss You had spent years making people laugh, dance, and question reality itself. But the story of what happened that day and the strange final moments leading up to it may be more shocking than anyone expected. And the final revelation might be the most shocking of all. The music world is mourning after tragic reports from Brazil confirmed the death of singer and internet personality Oliver Tree at the age of 32. Known for his unforgettable bowl haircut, oversized outfits, wild music videos, and a personality unlike anyone else in the industry, Oliver Tree built a career around doing the unexpected. Ironically, his own story has now ended in a way nobody could have predicted. According to local authorities in Rio de Janeiro, a devastating helicopter accident took place on June 14, 2026, in the southwest zone of the city. 2 helicopters reportedly collided in midair before crashing to the ground. What happened next looked like something straight out of an action movie, but sadly, it was real life. One of the helicopters crashed into an electric vehicle yard, sparking a massive fire. Reports say that at least 20 vehicles caught fire as emergency teams rushed to contain the flames. The accident claimed 6 lives. Among them was Oliver Tree. Authorities say the cause of the collision remains under investigation, and aviation experts are now working to determine exactly what went wrong during those final moments in the sky. For fans around the world, the news felt almost impossible to believe. Because Oliver Tree wasn't the kind of artist people expected to lose so suddenly. He was weird. He was funny. He was unpredictable. And somehow, that made millions of people love him even more. Born Oliver Tree Nickel in California, he never really fit into the traditional image of a pop star. In an industry often obsessed with perfection, Oliver built his career by embracing absurdity. The haircut. Intentional. The giant sunglasses. Intentional. The over-the-top personality. Also intentional. Everything about Oliver Tree felt like a joke, except the music. Because beneath all the comedy and chaos was a genuinely talented musician. His songs blended alternative rock, pop, electronic music, and emotional storytelling into something uniquely his own. And somehow it worked. Really worked. Over the years, millions of listeners streamed his music across platforms worldwide. Songs like Life Goes On, Miss You, Hurt, and Cash Machine became global hits. Fans didn't just listen to Oliver Tree. They experienced him. Watching an Oliver Tree music video often felt like entering another universe, one where scooters were serious business, fashion rules didn't exist, and nothing was ever normal. Honestly, if someone told you 10 years ago that a man wearing oversized jackets and a bowl cut would become a global music star, you probably would have laughed. Turns out Oliver Tree got the last laugh. His rise to fame wasn't overnight. Like many artists, he spent years building his career, experimenting with sounds, and finding his identity. Social media played a huge role. Long before short-form videos dominated the internet, Oliver understood how to capture attention. He knew people would stop scrolling if they saw something strange. And nobody did strange better than Oliver Tree. But behind the humor was an artist who took his craft seriously. Fans often described his music as emotional beneath the comedy. His songs talked about heartbreak, loneliness, frustration, growth, and sometimes hidden beneath the jokes, there was vulnerability. That combination made him stand out in an industry full of copycats. He wasn't trying to be cool. He was being himself. or at least the version of himself he wanted the world to see. By 2026, Oliver Tree had become a global name. His music had crossed borders. His videos collected hundreds of millions of views. His fanbase stretched across continents. And at the time of the accident, he was in South America as part of his world tour. For any artist, touring is exciting. But it can also be exhausting. Flights, hotels, interviews, performances. Repeat. Again and again. Fans usually see the glamorous side. They see sold-out crowds, bright lights, amazing performances. But behind the scenes, life on tour can be incredibly demanding. Despite the pressure, Oliver appeared active and engaged with fans during his travels. Reports indicate he had recently been in Brazil as part of his tour schedule. Then came June 14, a day that would change everything. According to reports from Brazilian authorities, 2 helicopters collided over Rio de Janeiro. The crash occurred in the Recreio dos Bandeirantes area in the city's southwest region. Emergency crews quickly arrived at the scene. Witnesses described smoke rising into the sky. Vehicles below caught fire. Debris scattered across the area. Investigators immediately began collecting evidence. At this stage, officials have not announced a final cause. Aviation accidents are often complex. Investigators examine weather conditions, mechanical issues, communication records, flight paths, and many other factors. For now, authorities continue their work. Meanwhile, fans across social media reacted with disbelief. Within hours, tributes began flooding the internet. Messages poured in from around the world. Some shared favorite songs. Others posted concert memories. Many simply couldn't believe the news. Because Oliver Tree always felt larger than life. The kind of person who looked unstoppable. The kind of artist who seemed like he would keep surprising the world forever. Yet moments like this remind us of something difficult. Fame doesn't protect people from tragedy. Celebrities may seem larger than life. But they are human too. They have dreams, families, friends, plans for tomorrow. And sometimes tomorrow never comes. As news spread, fans revisited Oliver's career. Old interviews resurfaced. Music videos gained new attention. Clips from concerts circulated online. People laughed at his jokes again. They listened to his music again. And in a strange way, that's often how artists live on. Through the work they leave behind. Oliver Tree built a career on standing out. In a world where many artists chase trends, he created his own lane. He didn't ask for permission. He simply existed as himself. Weird, creative, unpredictable, and completely unforgettable. Even people who weren't regular listeners knew who Oliver Tree was. That haircut alone deserved its own fan club. Or maybe its own warning label. But jokes aside, his impact on modern internet culture cannot be ignored. He represented a generation of creators who blurred the line between music, comedy, and online entertainment. Long before many artists embraced internet culture, Oliver Tree had already mastered it. He understood memes, virality, storytelling, and attention. In many ways, he was ahead of his time. The tragedy in Rio has also sparked conversations about aviation safety. Brazil has one of the busiest helicopter networks in the world, especially in major cities like Rio de Janeiro. Investigators will now work to understand exactly how 2 helicopters came into contact in the same airspace. These investigations can take time. Weeks, sometimes months. Families seek answers. Fans seek understanding. But some questions may never be fully answered. That's often the hardest part. When tragedy strikes unexpectedly, people naturally search for reasons. Something to explain the unexplainable. Something to make sense of the pain. Yet life doesn't always provide neat answers. Sometimes all we're left with are memories. And Oliver Tree leaves behind many of them. The songs, the videos, the performances, the laughter, the weirdness, the unforgettable personality. For millions of fans, those memories matter. Because artists don't just create entertainment. They create moments. Songs that play during heartbreak. Music that fills long drives. Videos that make people laugh during difficult times. And sometimes, people don't realize how much an artist meant to them until they're gone. As tributes continue pouring in from around the world, one thing is clear. Oliver Tree was unlike anyone else. Love him or not, you couldn't ignore him. And perhaps that's the mark of a truly memorable artist. He didn't follow the rules. He rewrote them. Today, fans around the globe are saying goodbye. Not just to a musician, but to a creator, a performer, a personality, a truly one-of-a-kind artist. The investigation into the crash continues. Authorities are still working to determine what happened in those final moments above Rio de Janeiro. Until then, the world waits for answers. But while investigations may eventually reveal how this tragedy happened, they can never measure what was lost. Because some people leave behind more than music. They leave behind moments. And for many fans, Oliver Tree created plenty of those. His story may have ended far too soon. But the songs, the memories, the impact, those don't disappear. And somewhere in headphones around the world, Life Goes On is probably playing right now. A title that suddenly feels more emotional than ever. Rest in peace, Oliver Tree.